Welcome YouTube fans, Big Gun 81 here. Today we're going to talk about HK's new striker-fired pistol, the VP9. This particular firearm is on loan to us actually from one of my YouTube subscribers and a good friend of mine. And I'd like to take a second to say thank you. So Bruce, thank you for lending this to us so that we can check it out today. And before we begin, just want to say that any firearms that you see within this video have been safety checked prior to filming. So let's start with just doing a basic unboxing so you can kind of see what's inside this case. Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and unbox this pistol to kind of show you what all is included inside of the case. And this is actually a pretty nice case. Some of the cases I've seen from other manufacturers are not quite as rigid and sturdy. Definitely shows the quality of the H&K line. So we open it up. Okay, on the top here, we've got our spent shell casing in here, for your collectible feature there. Of course, I'm not going to open it because it's not mine to open. But pretty cool it came with that. None of my other pistols that I purchased have included that. You've got a nice little H&K decal. You put that on your truck or whatever you want to do with that. And of course, the H&K VP9 operator's manual. Make sure you read this. And then you got your slide lock, which also features the H&K logo, which is a nice little feature too. So, ta-da! There's our H&K VP9. Which comes with, sorry about moving the camera there, comes with two 15-round magazines and three different sized grip panels, which these are the side panels and then the back straps that are interchangeable to accommodate your different size hands out there. So this is what's included. Now, one thing that is missing, of course, to give you a nice little dry pack to keep it dry, when they ship it. Inside here, there would normally be a magazine loading tool as well, but it seems to be missing from the box. I have no idea where it's at, but there normally would be one there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the pistol overall and kind of give you some of my impressions, before actually taking this out to the range and testing it out. Okay guys, so this has been safety checked, as I stated earlier. There's no cartridges in the chamber, no cartridges in the magazine. One thing I do like actually about this, one of the first things I noticed, was the magazine release. It's ambidextrous. You can actually either pinch your fingers kind of together, and I'm pointing this to the camera, but there's no one behind the camera, and kind of pull it down, or you do it with the tip of your finger, or if your thumb's long enough, you can reach it with your thumb, but I can't reach it with my thumb. So realistically, if I'm using this firearm, I'm going to be dropping that magazine with my trigger finger, and that may be kind of how they designed it. I'm not sure, but I do like the ambidextrous controls. That's really a nice feature, especially if you have friends that come over and want to shoot it and they're left-handed, and you're right-handed. It works out great for them. I have ran into that before. So I do like the magazine release. I also noticed that it does have a trigger safety. That's kind of a cool feature that it has that built in there. As far as the action goes, I haven't had much experience with it yet because I haven't taken it to the range and really fired it. But dry firing it, it seems like it's almost a little bit more sloppier than, say, our P226, which I'm comparing to because you may have seen the video I did of the 6-hour P226. It's totally a different animal, though, because it is striker fire versus a hammer fire. And the next thing I noticed, too, is it does also have, speaking of ambidextrous slide release. You can release the slide from that side, or you can do it from this side. And actually, compared to the 226 or most of these, at first when I looked at this, I didn't really like the button that's on here, or the lever, which is kind of recessed in there. I didn't really like that a whole lot. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Yeah, I didn't really like how that felt and how it was positioned, but actually, the more I had it in my hand, and it's only been a few minutes I've held it, it actually seems to be pretty decent. When I do pull this back, I'm grabbing with my thumb, and I'll kind of show you up here. Where it hits on my thumb is kind of more like closer to my knuckle than really at the tip of my thumb, which is kind of an awkward thing, but actually it's pretty easy to release, and I do like that. So far I do like the controls, and again, I haven't really gotten much experience with the trigger on here, so I'll have to see how that really is for me. I also notice, and some people might refer to them as, this one's got wings. It's got little tabs out there. I think they call it charging assist or something like that in the owner's manual. But it helps give you a better positive engagement when you're pulling the slide back. And of course, it has the serrations on the slide, which is nice. You know, a lot of them have that, and it's nice. Kind of has them up at the front too. Just gives you more options on where you can grab it, and it kind of adds to the style of the firearm as well. Also, this one does have night sights, and I do kind of like the, I guess, let's see if you can see that on the camera there. I do actually like how the sights look. I'm going to try to bring it in a little closer. It's kind of hard to do this on the camera, but just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like when you're looking down the sights of this gun. So far I like them, but I haven't fired it, so I can't really say how it's going to be until I do that. The you know, of course, it's got the rail. The rail's kind of neat too. It's, you know, it's got like the you know, serial number plate here on the bottom. Kind of nice style to it. I do like the grip a lot as well. And as you saw in the unboxing, we were showing you what was inside the package. It does have these grip panels. There's actually 3 panels. I'll kind of bring it in. There's a pin down on the bottom, right down in the back here, that you actually drive out, and this rear grip panel slides down, and the other 2, I believe, slide back. But I have never done it, so I'm just kind of going off my vague recollection of what I kind of saw in the manual about how to do that. So you may want to look at that if you got one of these now and you're trying to change the grips, read your manual. Another feature that I like about this particular firearm is this little red dot in here. If you can see that, it is a charge indicator, basically to let you know if the firing pin is cocked or decocked. And when you go to fire it, it kind of drops down. And it may be kind of hard to see on the camera because the way the reflection is, you kind of, the dot is further in. But if you're looking with your naked eye, you can see that the firing pin is you know, recessed in there, and it's actually fired. Overall, it's a pretty nice gun so far. And again, I'm gonna have to take this out to the range and try it out and really see my opinion of it at that point. So I'm back from the range, and here's my impressions now that I've got an opportunity to actually live fire this pistol. First off, you know, I ran about 150 rounds through it with a combination of ammunition. I went with you know, a couple different options for factory loads and then my own reloads, which all worked, you know, flawlessly through it. Basically, I covered a lot of things about the controls to begin with, but earlier in the video. But let's get to the magazine release first, simple one. That's going to take a little time getting used to because, again, it's a lever that you push down, and it's actually ambidextrous, as I said earlier. You know, you can access it from both sides. It's a downward motion versus a button where you're pushing it into the grip. So for me, I'm used to the button style. This is going to take a little bit of a learning experience, a little bit of, you know, time to retrain yourself on it. But it's not bad. I definitely like this lever better, I would say, than the typical, you know, push button, because it's a little bit easier to access. And, you know, you move your finger from your trigger over here. Now, I may see a flaw with that at some point, like, well, I kind of like to keep my hand on the trigger when I'm, you know, changing the magazine or something. You know, that's typically not how I would do it, but I'm just saying, like, maybe there's a disadvantage to it that I'm not seeing at this point or thinking of. But overall, you know, to move your hand off the your trigger finger over to this mag release, it's not bad. I think it'll work very well. Now, if you can reach it with your thumb, that's great, but my thumb is not long enough to do that, so can't do that. Now, with the trigger itself, now that I've gotten to actually try it out, It takes a little while getting used to, of course, because I'm coming from a background of shooting a lot of hammer-fired pistols, and it's a little different to me. But I would say, as far as the reset on it, it takes a little bit of time to kind of figure out where that sweet spot is, because it doesn't seem to have a real strong positive click. I mean, it clicks, but I'm used to, like, say, the P226, where it's hammer-fired. That short reset trigger seems to have a nice positive, pop or click when you get to that reset point. This is a little softer than the P26. So for me, it'll take a little bit of time getting used to. I don't really like the width of the trigger lever itself very much. Now, it's probably a little bit too wide because of the trigger safety that's built into it. It also looks like that trigger lever, if I'm not mistaken, is plastic. Nothing really wrong with the, well, polymer probably is what it really is. There's nothing really wrong with that necessarily, but I kind of like metal components as far as my firing controls are concerned. That's a personal preference. As far as the actual smoothness of the trigger, it's not bad, but there's a little bit of grittiness to it, and it may be because this particular firearm is ready to be cleaned, I would say. Or it may just be because it's fairly new and needs to be broken in still some more. But it just has a little bit of gritty feeling to it, almost like the plastic on plastic feel of this lever, maybe touching against the frame somewhere inside. I didn't take it apart to take a look, but that's just something I kind of noticed. But overall, not too bad. Very happy with it. I do like it, and would definitely recommend you go out and check one out if you're in the market for another or a new 9mm pistol. So, thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, have fun shooting.